Hey, what's going on, guys? My name's Austin Andrews, though if you've been following my streams and following my Post Scriptum content, you would know me as Karl Franz of Easy Company. I am going to, well, this is the first part of a series that I am making to discuss with you how to squad lead, essentially. How to be a leader of a squad, and all the things that go into it. This is part one, forming up your squad. Okay, so I'm just going to get right into it. Main thing. Starting out, you load into Post Scriptum, you select squad leader, you create a squad, everybody joins up, everybody's like, hey, what's going on? First thing you need to do right off the bat is speak up and rally the men. You have to make it known right off the bat that you are here to lead. I mean, you're also here to have fun, obviously, but that the men in your squad should take you seriously, or, should listen to you. And the way that you do that is by speaking plainly, clearly, with vigor. All right, what's going on, guys? Let's rally up, get on that point, etc., etc., etc. Let's get this done. Very, very important, because like people are just gonna see you as just kind of there for the ride, or not really knowing what you're doing, speaking loudly and just kind of generalizing what you want to have happen. Let's go out there and kick their asses. Let's win this. It makes you seem like you're a professional, makes you seem like you know what you're doing, even if you don't quite know what you're doing. Just the general assurance that you are at least enthused to get into it shows the men in your squad that, hey, he kind of knows what he's doing, or hopefully he kind of knows what he's doing. Alright, so next thing, very important. After everybody gets their kit and you see the general outlook of your squad, the next thing you need to do is assess your squad's combat capabilities. Now, I'm gonna assume that you know what the weapons do, like, or generally, like, they're kind of like their specs, and not spec like for everything, like not like some crazy I don't expect you to be some like crazy knowledgeable freaking game dev who's studied every like bullet drop physics whatever component to this entire game, but you should be looking at what your squad has, searching for what you want. Like maybe you want two medics instead of one, or maybe you want an AT guy if there is one, or maybe you want the marksman to swap out for something else. Just know what's in your squad, get a general idea of what is there, and just be ready to give orders for each of those, each of the different groups that you can create in your squad. Which brings me to the next component of being a squad lead. This is the big part for me. It is assigning combat roles in fire teams. Alright, so your squad is rallied up. You said, you've made it known that you're enthused to be in the squad, you're enthused to be in the game, and you're ready to win. It's time to start organizing the men. Alright, so for me, simplified, it's based on two key battlefield components. Who is going to be doing the fighting, and who is going to be doing the rear actions, or the kind of like the support. Alright, so fighting or tasking groups, what they do is that they're in the front, they're in the thick of it, and the rear action acts as support, usually behind or off in the, I usually say off in the cut, or off in the general area, maybe not with the main force, to offer support to the advancing squad, or to the to the squad performing their normal combat capabilities. Alright, so in my squads, usually I have kind of like three groups, but they're two, but they're three groups. The tasking guys are the ones with the heavy support weapons, or the generally heavy support weapons, like the marksman, the AT projector, the sapper. I kind of like those guys. They are kind of the rear action, but I leave them to their own devices. Like I let them go off and set up marksman positions, nests for the sniper rifle, or I let them go and find MSPs. I let them go hunt for tanks. I let them kind of do their own thing, because the thing about those guys is that you don't want them dying in the heat of combat where there's likely no MSPs, or there's likely no fobs or whatever. I mean, they are very useful for say clearing buildings and stuff like that, but generally, in assaulting positions. But generally, you don't want your marksman to just be there where he can be shot. You want him to be somewhere else, so the enemy doesn't have can pay a lot of attention to him. These guys have their own roles to play. They're very important. It's important that they stay alive, and they stay alive long enough to actually make a difference, because a destroyed MSP is a lot It's a fairly large amount of tickets that's gone. A destroyed tank is a fairly large amount of tickets that are gone. A destroyed fob, it shifts the front and makes it so the enemy can't maneuver as easily around your lines. And obviously, like a dead guy, if the marksman's able to find the enemy radioman, if he's able to actually pick off the enemy squad lead, then that is that's a lot of assets that the enemy now doesn't have, that they can't really buffer up with just a bunch of, you know, rifles and grenades. Now, as for the other components of my squad, I assign it. I set it up pretty concisely. Like, I don't like, it's very simple. I have my point men, and then I have my command squad. Now, these are very important. The point men, what their role really is, and I'll go into this more in like a later, of course, video. I guess in the part 2 to this video, is the point men are in at the front. They're advancing, they're moving. Their main focus is movement and assaulting positions. And the command squad, which is I guess part of the support group that supports the front, is me. I usually have the radio and a second medic, like the second medic rather, like, because I send the first medic out in the front. Now, the point men would also have the machine gunner and any other typically frontline like combat roles, like the grenadier usually. I believe that's really it. The machine gunner, the rifles, and the grenadier and the medic, like, the one of the medics, one of the combat medics that are in your squad. So I guess just to recap, in my squads usually, because I mean, I don't want to make this off as this is the main reason why I'm not even in the game, is because you can really apply these to a lot of different squad-based shooters. The main focus is the two roles: the guys who are going to be at the front doing the fighting, and the guys who are doing the support. I like to I like to set up my squad as the command squad, which is the sort of rear, the squad lead, which is me, the radio, and the medic. And the squad that's in front would usually be the machine gun, all the rifles, a grenadier, a medic, and basically any other thing that you have. And I have a sort of sub-sector to my group, which is the support group, because that's really, like, as a squad lead, that's my main focus, especially before we actually get into contact. As another sort of offshoot to my squad, I have the guys who are ready for tasking. Like, I remember that, like I mentioned that before, like tasking and people who are doing the fighting. Those guys are going to be the tasking ones. I would let my marksman know, hey, can you look over there, or can you look over here? Can you tell me what is over there? Can you pick off this target or that target or whatever? Or my light mortar, if there's a light mortar in your squad, hey, I need this over here. I need you to pepper ordnance in this area. Or my sapper, I would tell him, like, hey, go around there. We're going to go this way. Look for some fobs, for some MSPs. Do this. Find them, destroy them, etc. Alright, so just to recap. Speak up, rally the men. You get in the squad, or rather you start the squad, excuse me. As soon as everybody gets in, gets their kit, you let them know, hey, let's do this. I'm here to lead. I'll be your squad lead today, etc., etc. Assess your men's combat capabilities based on what kit that they've got. Let them know, well, just internalize in your head what we have, what assets we have available, what we don't have, what are our shortcomings, what are the things we should be doing, what shouldn't we be doing, and then assign your combat roles and your fire teams. Rifles, machine gun, this is the way I do it again, so you can do it different ways. Rifles, machine gun, grenadier, you're going to be advancing. Oh, medic as well, excuse me. Rifles, machine gun, medic, grenadier, you'll be advancing. In the rear is me, the radio, and the other medic. If you have a marksman, let him know, hey, marksman, you kind of do your own thing, or you go off in this direction. Be ready for when I need you. AT guy, bring up the rear with me, or just be off looking, hunting for tanks. I'll let you know where they are. Communication is important. Of course, coordinate with the other squads to find out where enemy fobs and armor are, in case any of the other squads do need, like, sappers or people with AT projectors to take out or challenge enemy armor. Let your squad know that these are the things that you want from them, and make sure that they remember for the entirety of the game. Well, the entirety of the game. Make sure that they know what their roles are and who they are. In my squad, point men go here. I mark move fast, so let them know where they're going. Command squad on me. Like the guys who I mention them by name so they know who they are. I often tell them, you know who you are. Marksman, go here. Sapper, do this, etc. It's really, now is the time for you to instantiate yourself as a squad lead by letting them know these are the things that I want from you. All right, very important. That's just it starting out. From there, I'm gonna be going into engagements. Yeah, that's gonna be the next video probably. Moving to your first combat, moving to your first engagement. Sorry, how to move, what to do. I'm not gonna go crazy in depth into into every map being like, oh, this is where you place the MSP, because I want this to be a fairly generalized video series about how to be effective in like these squad-based shooters. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much to Easy Company for being such an amazing community. Consider joining. They have their own Discord. Join up. Just be a member, guys, because it is really a rewarding community. They're the first community that I've ever actually donated a Patreon to. Or rather, I've donated money to their Patreon, and I actually was the patron. That's the word. The patron that actually got them to their next donation goal, which was $450. Please cut that. Alright, guys. Thank you so much. This is Karl Franz, Austin Andrews, whichever you want, signing off. I will see you in the next video. We will be discussing advancing, what to do before your first contact, how to approach your first contact, and etc. So, thank you.